Okay, good afternoon. I have several topics that I want to talk about. I first want to wish everyone a good rest of your weekend as we wind down in the United States. For those elsewhere, a good start to your work week. I'm going to be talking about several things. The first thing I want to do is express my gratitude and appreciation for all the YouTube channels, all the wonderful people that post videos, and Fee Shrinking Violet, Annabelle Lee, Running from Chaos, Ollie Matthews, Mandrake, and there are so many others. Um, and, you know, I have to say, I'm not easily impressed, and these channels, the people that are posting videos are just, to me, are incredibly smart and talented. I mean, every time I watch a video, I'm like, you know, these people are rock stars. I mean, there's something very special about these people, and there's something, very special about this movement. And what we're involved, all of us involved in, is a really cool thing. And we're getting involved during the infancy stage, I think, in our time as humans. There's still a lot of people that don't even understand what narcissistic personality disorder and how it affects people. And of course, a cluster B's, people don't understand what that is. But the moving on to the second topic, collapsed narcissist, and Randy Andretti is one of my. I'm a fan of her, of Randy Andretti, and Serena Nightshade. I love all of those folks. Collapsed narcissist, and Randy Andretti brought that up, and I'm really glad that she did, and I think most of us understand what it is, but I don't think we can help but want to look it up and read, and so I did that, and so I'm just reading off something off the internet. Maybe y'all seen it, maybe you haven't, but it says it has been suggested that narcissism in adults is related to defenses against shame, and that narcissistic personality disorder is connected to shame as well. Psychiatrist Glenn Gabbard, suggested that NPD can be broken down into two subtypes: a grandiose, arrogant, thick-skinned, oblivious subtype, think lion, and an easily hurt, oversensitive, ashamed, hypervigilant subtype, think church mouse. Rather than thinking that there are two types of narcissists, I see it as the two rolled up into one person. Narcissists subconsciously know of their unacceptability. However, their conscious self-perceived grandiosity is an overcompensation for this sense of rejection. The narcissistic personality is like a house built on stilts. No matter how many sticks are holding it up, the house can come crashing down. And I'm not going to read on, but I think we all get the point. I don't think we can discuss it too much. One of the things that I want to share, and I know I'm not the only one that's gone through this, is the pain and the sadness when you see someone, a narcissist, someone you had a relationship with and that you were in love with. In my case, it was my ex-spouse who collapses. It is just heart-wrenching and pain-wrenching. And for me, I just wanted to reach out to her and say, look, let me help you. It's going to be okay. And obviously I realized that I couldn't do that. But it's been really, really hard. I know I'm like super new to the community. But when you see, this is a person that, while I was in a relationship with, as is the case with many of you, You gave of yourself. You supported. You encouraged. You did right by them. You had their back, and you wanted them to succeed. And when you realize that they didn't feel the same way, it's painful. And then after you go no contact and you find out that they collapse, it's really sad. And it makes me sad for myself and sad for this person, ex-spouse. But it's one of those things that we have no control over. And it's really about desire. It's about it's one of those things, we heard growing up, there are some things you can't teach. You either have it or you don't. I think some things you can. Things like, humility and awareness, and just being in tune with other people's feelings. I don't know. I think that's hard. I think that's tough to try to learn. I feel like you either have it or you don't. I will tell you that there are treatments for BPD, but it just requires so much on the part of the sufferer, the person that is experiencing BPD. But I want to make clear, the first and foremost for me and others on this channel, the priority is self-care and self-love, and moving ahead, moving into the future, not looking back. But it's hard. It touches on something that Running from Chaos talked about, nostalgia, and it's just really difficult. It's acceptance. If you're like me, you didn't know anything about acceptance until you got older, and so that's what I wanted to say about collapsed narcissist. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about is a theme in the movie The Karate Kid from the 80s with Ralph Macchio and the guy that played Miyagi. And I think it's not a generational specific film. I think it appeals to all different kinds of people. If you're around my age or a little older, a little younger, you probably saw it in the theater. And there are a lot of themes in that movie, but one of the themes that has struck me that I want to share with you, and I'd like to find out if any of you have experienced this, is whether or not this experience leads you to believe that you have been Miyagi'd. Okay, now Miyagi was Ralph Macchio, the character of the Karate Kid, his tutor, his mentor, taught him karate and a lot of other things. And I'm not giving away, any parts of the movie that, I shouldn't give away, but during the movie, when Ralph Macchio starts hanging out with Miyagi and wants to learn, karate, excuse me, Mr. Miyagi is having him perform all these chores to learn karate, but he doesn't realize it, like painting the fence up and down, and wax on and wax off. And Ralph Macchio, as most of us would do, is like, what the F? Why are you having me paint the fence and wax your car? Dude, I just want to learn karate. What's up, man? So, he finally connects the dots and realizes that he's having to go through this uncomfortable process to get from point A to point B. And without going into too much detail, I feel convinced that I am going through this for a reason, and that it's providing preparation and training for me for one or more things that I want to do later in life. Um, I wish it could have been something different. I question. I'm like, well, you know, God, I believe in higher power. Couldn't we have done it in a different way besides how we did it? Because this has been brutal. But no, this is the plan that God had for me, and what He's put me through. He's put me through the emotional fence painting and car waxing and deck sanding and all these things that He had to do to prepare him for events later in life, physically and emotionally. And I really feel, that's what's going on with me. And I just, I'd be curious if any of y'all feel like you have been Miyagi'd. What I will tell you, and this is just my opinion, and I mean I can speak for myself, but this is an intimate community, and we have so much in common emotionally and cerebrally, and that's that. I think that yeah, this is painful for all of us, and it's brutal, and some of us have experienced things that are different or maybe more severe. I mean, it's all painful. It's an MF. You're like, what the F? I said the other day, where's Ashton Kutcher? You're just, you're like, what the hell just happened? And I really think that this is just part of the plan, and this is what God or a higher power. It doesn't have to be God, but I believe that there's some type. I believe that we are meant to go through with what we're going through. At least that's how I feel. And, for those that don't agree, that's okay. I respect your opinions. But I just wanted to talk about those things today. Gratitude for the other YouTube channels, collapse narcissism, or narcissists, and whether or not anyone feels they've been Miyagi'd, or have you, recognized it yet or at all. So let me know. Please leave comments in the description box below, and I appreciate it very much. This is Romulus signing off. Thank you.